How's it going? Chris Addis cleaning with the South Coast once again. So I've seen on social media young guys starting out in the window cleaning game asking for a template to a letter explaining to customers the use of water-fed pole. Now, you know, some people might say, yeah, you might need to explain to the customer how water-fed pole works. That's fine. And if a customer asks, then I absolutely will explain it to them. It's not a problem. But I work on the premise there's not a problem until there's a problem. Okay? So if ultimately, you know, you are a traditional window cleaner and you make that transition to water-fed pole to make your life easier, you know, whatever reason you choose to do that, not an issue. It needs no explaining. It needs no explanation. You know, in much the same way that a joiner buying a nail gun would not go out and explain to his customers, right, well, actually, if you don't see me with a hammer anymore, it's because I'm using a nail gun. Water-fed pole is a tool, okay? And ultimately, we are, as window cleaners, we are in a results-based business, aren't we? So ultimately, if the result is the same or better than what it was before, all is well with the world. That's it. Don't need to explain yourself to anybody. Don't go out of your way to have these letters knocked up to, you know, offset a negative interaction that will probably never happen in the future. And here's the thing, even if it does happen, it's far better, in my humble opinion, that if a customer asks me about water-fed pole, and I was, you know, and like I used to do trad, and when I transitioned over to water-fed pole, I just treated it as it's just a tool that we use. That's it, you know, and that's that. You did get questions, you will get questions, and that's fine, but answer them. Take the time to answer those questions yourself, because if you go out of your way to write a letter, you know, explaining to customers, well, this is how we're operating and blah blah, and I hope that's okay. You know, you are training the customer to treat you a certain way. If you go in there, cap in hand, nervous, clear sign, it's a clear sign that you're new to this, you know, you are, you know, more likely to encounter a situation where a customer's going to turn around to you and say, listen here, pal, as the customer, I'm going to tell you how you run your business. And you know, and in the effort to try and get you to turn around and go, oh right, well, okay then, yeah, that's fine. No worries, Mr. Smith. I'll see you next time. No, I'm sorry. If ultimately, you know, if you approach it that if the customer turns around and says something, I personally would just change to water-fed pole, if that's what you want to do. I personally would just change to water-fed pole, adopt it, carry on as normal, etc. And if the customer has a problem with it, then they can come and speak to you. And then if you was to then turn around and say, well, you know, we've decided to transition over to water-fed pole for these reasons, and it's just a tool. You know, if there's a problem, give us a shout. We'll come back and we'll put something right. And that's that. And leave it with the customer. Don't make a big deal out of something that's not a big deal. You know, because if you do make a big deal out of something that's not a big deal, you're showing your nervousness. You are showing you're showing your hand that you are nervous about transitioning to water-fed pole. You are nervous about the reaction that customers are going to have, and ultimately, you know, you are gifting that power to the customer to have that negative interaction. And the reality is, it's not that big a deal. So don't make a big deal out of it. Just don't.